$400 sitting in an account that's about to lock her out of it for good. She just found out she's losing her job, and not next month, not next week, today. If that money doesn't get spent before the badge stops working, it's gone.
No refund, no transfer.
No grace call to HR next Tuesday. So what do you actually buy in the space of a few hours when the receipt has to clear before the clock runs out? The answer isn't what most people guess. Hey Profiteer, Eric here. Welcome back to Real Money Stories. Today's story comes from the Personal Finance subreddit, and it's built around one of the sneakiest deadlines hiding in the tax code, the FSA, ooze it or lose it clock. This kind of thing plays out somewhere in the country pretty much every single day, a layoff notice landing on top of a benefits account that's about to evaporate. Let me read it to you in their own words. I have gotten notification from HR that my employment will be officially terminated as of midnight tonight. I kept forgetting about my FSA card, so I've barely spent any money from it. None of my prescriptions are close. I can't get an eye exam today, but I can buy frames, which I might do, and I already have tons of medical supplies I need for the time being. I think my remaining balance is around $400. Outside eyeglass frames and ibuprofen, what are some things I could spend on in a rush? Update, thanks for all your suggestions. I got a notification I was being cut off at 5 p.m., not midnight as I had previously thought. I ran out to Costco and got a couple pairs of eyeglass frames and some medical supplies. The remainder went to an Amazon FSA only order. In the end, my grand total was less than $1 short of my balance. Success! Okay, first thing I want to say, reading this, getting laid off with almost no warning is stressful enough on its own. You're processing a job loss. You're probably thinking about health insurance, income, what to tell your family, and somewhere in the middle of all that, a countdown timer shows up on money that's already yours. That's a rough combination. So credit the original poster for keeping their head enough to even ask the question, let alone nail the landing within $1. I've been writing about money for over a decade now, and the thing most articles get wrong about FSAs is treating them like a savings account. They're not. And that misunderstanding is exactly what almost cost this person $400. So here's what I'd probably do in their shoes, and honestly, what I'd tell a friend to do the moment that termination email lands. First, understand the framework you're actually operating inside, the use it or lose it rule. A flexible spending account isn't your money sitting in a bank waiting for you. It's an IRS-sanctioned arrangement where you agreed, back at open enrollment, to set aside pre-tax dollars for medical costs during the plan year. In exchange, your employer fronts the full annual amount up front if you need it. The trade-off is that the account lives with the employer, not with you. Walk out the door, and in most cases, your access to that balance walks out with you. And here's why that matters so much in this exact situation. Unlike a 401k or an HSA, there's no vesting, no rollover to a personal account, nothing that follows you home. The next step, the very first thing to do the minute you get layoff news, is pull up your plan documents or call the benefits line and ask a pair of questions. When exactly does my card get shut off? And is there a run-out period that still lets me submit claims for expenses I already incurred? Second framework, and this is the one that actually solves the problem in a rush, know the eligible expense list. FSA dollars only cover IRS qualified medical expenses under the tax code, but that list is a lot broader than most people realize. Reading glasses and frames, sunscreen rated SPF 15 or higher, first aid kits, thermometers, blood pressure monitors, contact lens solution, even some baby monitors with a health function. The mechanism here is simple. The IRS defines the category, but retailers like the FSA store or Amazon's FSA eligible storefront filter their entire catalog, so you're not guessing item by item while the clock is running. That's exactly the move the original poster made, straight to Costco for frames and supplies, then an Amazon FSA only order that mopped up the rest. Now, the obvious move looks simple. Just log into one of those stores and start clicking buy before 5 o'clock, but there's a wrinkle almost everyone misses. The deadline isn't when the money technically leaves your account, it's when your ability to authorize a purchase disappears. Some employers cut card access the instant HR processes the termination, not at midnight, not at end of business, sometimes within the hour. That's exactly what happened here. The original poster thought they had until midnight and found out it was actually 5 p.m. If you assume you've got all day and you don't, you can lose a real balance that was sitting right there the whole time. Third, and this one's worth knowing even if it didn't apply here, FSA Obara continuation. If you've contributed more to your FSA for the year than you've actually spent, meaning the account is underfunded relative to your remaining balance, federal law can let you keep contributing after you leave through COBRA, paying the rest of your annual election out of pocket in exchange for keeping the money within reach. It's a narrow tool. It only makes sense when the math favors you, when the leftover balance is bigger than what you'd pay to keep the account open. For a $400 balance, spending it down in a rush, like the original poster did, is almost always the simpler and cheaper path. But if you're ever staring at a much bigger balance on your way out the door, ask HR about it before you assume the money's just gone. Fourth, think in terms of a stockpile, not a shopping list. Since the money disappears regardless of when you'd actually use the item, the smart play is to front-load anything shelf-stable and genuinely useful, extra contact solution, a spare pair of glasses, a stocked first aid kit, ibuprofen and other OTC basics you'll need eventually. You're not wasting money buying things early, you're converting an asset that's about to hit zero into things you'd need regardless. And just a quick note, because this always matters, this episode is for entertainment and education. It's not personalized financial or legal advice. Every employer's FSA plan documents are a little different. So if you're facing a deadline like this yourself, talk to a qualified financial advisor or your benefits administrator about your specific situation. The specific number in this story was $400 and a same-day deadline. But the principle underneath it shows up everywhere. Use or lose it. Benefits don't wait for you to notice them. They expire on their own schedule, not yours. PTO payouts, gift cards, airline miles, even a company match window, the day you leave is the day you need to check what's vanishing. The original poster got it right down to less than $1. That's not luck, that's just someone who asked the right question fast enough. If you found this helpful, share it with someone dealing with the same thing. Until next time, stay profitable.